And so this documentary, the material, what is it? Material Instincts. Now, for the record, this is a very disturbing documentary. So, just letting you know if you're gonna, and there'll be spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet and you are kind of like, don't want to hear disturbing parts of this story, then don't listen to it. But anyway, further ado. Anyway, this documentary basically is about this girl named Taylor, who basically is a con artist who basically cons this guy and gets in a relationship with him. And here's the part that gets disturbing more than anything. She tries to con this guy for tens of millions of dollars. And on top of that, I don't know why my hair looks like this. Sorry about that. But here's the thing I don't like about her, besides her narcissistic, you know, and here's the thing too. I've noticed too, these people who do these condescending, you know, things like what I just did with my hair like that. Like, oh, my hair looks ridiculous. But see, I don't care. If I make my hair into a spiky mohawk or if I do this, I don't care. It's not the end of the world for me. You know what I mean? But for people like her, like for Taylor, self-image is the most important thing in the world for her. That's why I was trying to prove a point about that, about why I did this for my hair in the video. Because self-image for her is really important. See, like, yeah, I've got a Rasta flag and I smoke Mary Jane. Like, I do it for chronic pain and I'm proud of it. I don't give a fuck if people notice that. I don't care. Or that I'm a Chargers fan. Like, I'm proud of those things. I'm not gonna shy away, and I crack my neck when it hurts. Like, I'm not gonna, you know. But like what I also was gonna say too, it's it really like bothers me when a woman not only pretends to manipulate this guy and take him for a ride, but then she also goes and basically kills a woman, a mother. This part gets hard to talk about because it's just so disturbing and it's heartbreaking because it's like she cuts the baby out of the womb and it's like out of the woman's back, and it's like she stabbed her 80 like 98 times, and it's like, who the fuck does that to another person? You know what I mean? The lack of empathy, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of just being a fucking person, it just bothers me. Like, that's what I mean by she's a fucking narcissist. Like, it just bugs me a lot. Like, I don't understand how anybody could do this to a human being and not feel something. Like, murders this woman who she literally did photography for her and her husband. And then she's literally Googling how to do a C-section. Yeah, because as she was faking being pregnant for 9 months, she did a C-section on this woman and cut the baby out and drove like a banshee a hell out of a high water for like fucking, I don't know, like 90 miles an hour going on the road, and my nose is itchy. I don't know. Maybe it's a response to how emotional I'm getting from this story because it's so disturbing. Because she used the baby as a prop, and that's even more disgusting. She literally has the baby with the umbilical cord. You see it in the video of this in this documentary, and she's like, "My babe is dead," and she makes this whole The worst acting I've ever seen. And it's like, dude, I know I'm on the spectrum. I know I have a hard time with social cues. I know I have a hard time with trying to understand people. I know I have a hard time with a bunch of shit, but oh my God, this is the worst acting I've ever seen. And I knew the cops were going to pick up on this. I knew it. I knew when they were picking up on this shit, because even I knew this too. When a woman gives birth to a baby, a brand new baby, their vaginas are hemorrhaging because of the amount of blood flow that has to be used to create this beautiful thing called a baby to pass through, right? Through the vagina canal, right? I just don't really want you to see my nose while I'm kind of getting in there a little bit. Sorry, it is kind of gross. I just didn't want you to like see that part. No, it's not because I'm a narcissist, and it's just seriously like, who wants to look at someone picking their nose and getting a booger? You know, I mean, I'm not going to show that. I mean, I wouldn't even look at that. I'm okay, whatever, fuck off. I'm just saying. But honestly, this woman takes this baby and then uses it as a prop and has the umbilical cord sticking out. And I saw this in the documentary, and it just made me so sad and made me so like emotional, because I knew there was something wrong. Because they showed that in the very beginning of the documentary. I went, what the fuck is this? And I was confused at first, but they were trying to show you a snippet of the rest of the story. Then it pieces it together. It's a long documentary, but I loved it because of how disturbing it was. And the fact that she murdered, you know, a mother, a friend, a sister, an aunt, you know, all these people, all these things that matters to someone. Like, for example, right? I have an uncle who is one of the sweetest, most humble, nice people I've ever known, right? And, you know, one time I texted him a long time ago, just talking about politics once. He goes, politics doesn't interest me. And I went, you know, that's really nice of you. And then I started talking about football, and he's a Dolphins fan because of Marino, right? So we started talking about football, and we started talking about food, and talking about all these things. And he is one of the most kindest people, like my grandfather. And it's like my world is so much better with my aunts and my uncles. And it's like, what I'm trying to say is, the people who are closest to you matter more to you than anything else. And when someone like that's a narcissist and that's fucking psycho and mental, it concerns me, because I don't ever want someone like that in your circle. You see what I'm saying? Because that person got in that guy's circle. I forgot his name now. It was like Wade or something. But I'm just saying, I feel so bad for that guy, because that girl got in his circle and ruined his whole life. And that's what narcissists do, is they get in your circle and they fuck up everything, and they ruin everything, and they're toxic, they're manipulative, they're narcissistic, and they're mean. And then they lie to your face. They'll do stuff like, here's $100,000 truck. And I made a short video of that recently, and made a video about that, about how this person will buy you $100,000 truck and then use that against you and weaponize that against you, go and gaslight you and manipulate you and go, hey, I bought you that $100,000 truck and this is how you repay me. This is how you, and they just will attack that against you. And I'll tell you one thing, that's one of the biggest reasons I don't talk to my dad anymore. Because my dad is a drug addict and an alcoholic, and I got tired of the way he would treat me. Like, he would scream at me on the phone. He would scream at me on the phone, and he would the other thing I really don't appreciate is when people say to my face that I lie or something, and I don't. I don't lie to my friends. I don't lie to my family. And if you're going to accuse me of something that I don't do, I don't need you in my life, period, because I don't lie to my friends and family. That's what a manipulative, narcissistic scumbag does, and I don't do that. And that woman, Taylor, she lies her whole life. She lies to everyone. She is so like, here's the problem with her, right? See, like, look, I'm fat, right? I'm 400 pounds. She used to be so fat in high school. She got the gastric sleeve because that's how badly insecure she was. And see, she was so insecure with herself, right? She was so insecure that she got the gastric sleeve, and now she like has to always look good. She always has to, you know what I mean? Like, there's people that I watch on TikTok, and they don't even like, they'll wake up and do TikTok. They don't even use filters. They don't even use makeup, and they're beautiful and they're wonderful human beings. And they seem like the most, like, there's a girl I follow, and she's so kind and she's so nice to everyone. She's such a good dancer, and she doesn't tease anyone. She's so open-minded. She's kind. And what I love about her is because I was reading how in Korea, a lot of them are not open-minded to the LGBT community. If they don't really allow gay people in the military. They're not very big on trans rights or trans people. And what I love about her is it doesn't matter who you are. She'll love you just for who you are. And that's why I love her so much. She is a good person. She has a good heart. And, people will probably know who I'm talking about because and I always call her wonderful all the time because she is wonderful. I mean, I've never seen someone this nice and this respectful to other people. I remember there was this person in her live once, and she just treated them with such kindness and grace and just had a really good attitude towards about everything. Because when I've seen people like talk about things, about certain like transgender issues or any LGBT issues, or even like, gay rights or whatever, I've seen other creators on TikTok smear them, yell at them, bully them. She's just a good human being and just so humble and kind. And she's what other people should strive to be. And that's why I just love her. I think she's such a good person. If she comes to California, I will buy her as many lattes as possible. If I get more class action lawsuits, I promise I will buy her so many fucking lattes you will not believe. I will buy her so many goddamn lattes. And I hope one day she can smoke a joint with me. I don't know if she ever will, but I hope one day she smokes a joint with me because she seems like she would be the best friend for anybody, because I gravitate towards anybody who's a good person. I gravitate towards anyone who is smart, who is caring, who is good, who is creative, who is knowledgeable and has wisdom. I don't gravitate towards narcissistic, just evil, downright evil like this person. Taylor in Texas is the youngest person in Texas to get the death penalty. You realize how bad of a person you have to be to get the death penalty in Texas? I mean, and you're the youngest person too. You threw your whole life away. You realize I've never committed a crime in my whole life. Never. Like, never. I mean, it's possible that I was a little kid and I stole maybe like a Snickers when I was like 6 or 7, but that's like statute of limitations, which means if it's more than like 10 or 15 years, it's expunged. It's not no longer a crime. But it's like, I think everybody when they were a kid has done something like that. They've probably, and then when I was a kid, they probably have told me, hey, go put that back, or, You got to pay for that. And, my family has done that. Or one time I mistakenly, accidentally took money at Albertsons when I was when I first moved here, and it was an accident because the lady at the cashier because I asked for my cash back, and the lady gave me too much cash back. It was like $17, and I was like, it was only supposed to be 5. So I went over the next day and went to the cashier and gave it back to her. And then so I tried to do it, but then she told me just keep it. So I was like, okay. So I kept it. So sometimes people fuck up and it's their mistake. So, but she told me just to keep it. She said, hey, that's my fault. And I don't remember doing that. But if it's my fault, you should just keep the money. But then I felt bad about it. So I went ahead and just donated some of the money to charity because I felt guilty for, keeping the money. So that's my point. Like, I try to do the good thing to some people just don't care enough. So I try to do the right thing and I'll donate some of the money to charity. A lot of people think that I'm this like lazy, fat, democratic socialist living in California, but it's like, I do donate. Like when I get my class action lawsuits or like, like I do donate. I donate, what I did do when I won my big class action lawsuit once, I did donate a lot of that money to the kids that Elon should have fucking helped instead of, murdering 500,000 in Sudan, Afghanistan. So, fuck Elon. At least I'm the one who helped those kids. I probably helped maybe 25 or 30 kids to get fed in those countries, and it barely cost me anything. So, yeah, you can download the app of UNICEF and help people from all over the world, including Palestine. So, yeah, I'm actually making the world a better place than what Elon ever has done. So, yeah, his little tiny rockets, like his little peen, same thing. So, yeah, he's the reason I started Fuck the Asperger.